Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. If you're new here, my name is Risa, and I was a freelance makeup artist for more than 25 years before becoming a full-time content creator here on YouTube. And today I'm going to show you how I get my signature makeup look. My signature makeup look has definitely evolved over the years. If you look at some of my earlier videos, I definitely wore a lot more makeup. I was much heavier with my eye makeup and my lashes. I wore heavier, more full coverage foundations. And even though I do still love a full glam look, I've lightened things up a bit. Especially in the last year since I turned 50, I have been experimenting with different makeup techniques and hacks, basically just switching up a lot of the products I used to use. So if you'd like to see how I get this look, my signature look, please keep on watching. I always start off with my skin prep. I start my routine by using the Beauty Pie Uber Youth Neck and Chest Super Lift Serum Spray. I think we all know that the neck and chest is where most of us have the most visible signs of aging. We tend to take very good care of our faces, and a lot of people do ignore the neck and chest area. I know I did for quite a long time, probably until I hit like 45. This amazing product is suitable for aging and sun-damaged skin on the neck and chest. This lifting serum is an absolute powerhouse. It contains 5% niacinamide, it contains peptides, and by the way, it is vegan and cruelty-free. Before I get into the rest of my skin prep for mature skin, I want to thank Beauty Pie for sponsoring a portion of today's video. I have worked with Beauty Pie many times over the years. And honestly, several of their beauty and skincare products have become staples in my beauty collection and skincare routine. Now I'm applying Beauty Pie's 360-degree Radiance Concentrate. This helps to visibly firm the skin, tighten and soften fine lines and wrinkles, and it's going to give your skin the most beautiful glow, but it's not too glowy. If you have oily skin like me, don't worry about this serum making you a grease ball. This product is made in one of the top beauty labs in Switzerland with 15 active ingredients that give you an insanely beautiful glow. Following the serum, I'm applying the Superdose Vitamin C Oxygen Boosting Moisturizer. And then once that sinks in, I apply the Beauty Pie Traceless Mineral SPF 30. What I love most about this product is that it is invisible on the skin. It leaves no white cast. It is infused with argan oil, niacinamide, and Indian beech seed extract. This can also double as your makeup primer. It's made with 100% natural micronized zinc oxide as a UVA/UVB filter. This is also vegan and cruelty-free and suitable for all skin types. Just look at the reviews on the Beauty Pie website and you will see that I clearly am not the only one who adores this sunscreen. If you're not familiar with Beauty Pie, they are the first ever beauty buyers club. They offer luxury, high-end products without the retail markup. With a Beauty Pie membership, you can bypass the markup and all of those extra hidden fees that are added to the price traditional beauty brands charge. That is how you can shop products like this Traceless Mineral SPF 30 and pay just $22 as a member instead of $60. And you're welcome to shop whether you are a member or not. But either way, you will be paying a very fair price for the quality you're receiving. And of course, I have a special offer for my Risa Does Makeup viewers. Beauty Pie is running a 60-day free trial. And if you just look down at the caption right here, you can get all the details. Now that my skin is all prepped and hydrated and glowy, I can start applying some makeup. And this is the look that I did every single night on my recent 7-night cruise. I did an entire video talking about what I was putting into my travel makeup bag. And I ended up not using most of it. After the first night, I decided that I did not want to take the time every evening to come up with a different look. I wanted just to do something quickly, well, sort of quickly, for me, quickly at least. That was glam, but just wasn't too time consuming because I didn't want to spend my usual 45 minutes or even an hour that I sometimes do take at home when I'm getting ready to go out for a date night or for an event. I just wanted it to be a lot quicker. And I even have my travel makeup bag sitting right here with all of the products in it still because I'm going away again this weekend. So I figured, why bother unpacking it? I'm not going anywhere nearly as glamorous this time. I'm just going to California. We're having a party for my dad's 80th birthday. Now, because I do have oily skin, I am applying a little bit of a mattifying primer to my T-zone. And I'm also using a foundation that is a little bit more luminous. I will be using the Armani Beauty Luminous Silk Foundation, which is a foundation that I typically reserve for nighttime wear. And if I want it to last, I do have to use some sort of mattifying primer. And I don't know if I said the name of this product yet, but it is the L'Oreal Prime Lab 24-Hour Matte Setter. So yeah, as I mentioned, I'm using the Armani Luminous Silk. The shade I'm using today is 5.75. I did self-tan before my trip and it has since faded, so this is going to be a little bit darker than my natural skin tone. But what I do in that case is I will bring it down my neck and chest so that I do look even. And I'm using my Stands Out Beauty sponge. I go back and forth with my foundation application. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. But also, the way I apply the foundation is often dependent on what foundation it is. Some foundations look better applied with a sponge. Some look better applied with a brush. Some apply better with a damp beauty blender. This is dry, by the way. I always use my Stands Out sponge dry. You want to wet it the first time you use it or before you use it. When I get a new one, I will dampen it in the sink. Well, not actually dampen it. I'll make it really, really wet so that it expands in size. And then I'll let it sit overnight. And that's how you get it to be this size, because when you first get it, it's a lot smaller. So what I'm trying to say is that I let it sit overnight and then I go ahead and use it. I do find that this foundation can be applied many ways though. It's pretty user-friendly in my opinion. I kind of feel like my circles are extra dark today, so I'm going to use a little bit of my Beauty Pie Super Genius Under Eye Brightener. I use light medium, and I'm just taking my finger. Yes, I use my middle finger. I don't know why. And I'm applying that to those dark circles to brighten them up before I go in with a little concealer. And for my concealer, I am using the Natasha Denona High Glam. That is the one I took with me on my trip. I'm currently loving the new one from Danessa Myricks as well. So if you see this video after you've seen one of my other recent videos where I talk about the Danessa Myricks, just know that I'm showing you exactly what I used on my trip and I didn't have that at the time. They are both really excellent concealers. Oh my goodness, I am running out of this one. So I'm placing that over the corrector and then also over my lid. And this brush is from Beauty Pie as well. It's so nice for this step. And then I also like to take a little bit around the sides of my nose. And then a key component to my signature makeup look is adding a lot of bronzer. So I'm using the Indeed Labs Nano Bronze Bronzing Drops. I love these. I mean, look at how messy you can be with this, and it doesn't matter. It blends in so seamlessly. And it gives a really natural looking color. I mean, right now it's not looking so natural under these lights, unfortunately. But I promise you that in person, it looked like I had just gotten a lot of sun, which of course I don't. I'm always in the shade, even when I am out by a pool or by an ocean. I'm always in the shade with my SPF on and reapplying my SPF every few hours. And then I just took the other side of my number 7 brush from IT Cosmetics and just take whatever is left on my hand and contour my nose slightly. The powder I ended up taking with me was this one from Fenty Beauty. It is the translucent setting powder. It just works really, really well for me. And I'm using this to set under my eyes. I know it looks like a lot, and I wouldn't recommend this much powder for everyone, but being that I do have oily skin and luckily don't have a ton of fine lines, under my eyes, even at my age. And no, I don't have any Botox. I just find this powder works really, really well for me. And because I was going for a more glam look, or my signature look is more glam, I do like to use this powder to also carve out my cheekbones a little bit. And then I don't let it sit there for too long. I don't use the baking technique because at age 51, that is something I really can't do, because even though, like I just said, I don't have a lot of fine lines, I do still have them. And the makeup can still settle in there, especially if I were to let this powder, you know, sit for too long. So now that I have set the concealer, my lids, and the foundation, I'm going to take a bronzer, a shimmering bronzer. I used this one from Kosas. It is the Sun Show Bronzer in Beachy, and I'm just taking that on my forehead, around my cheekbones, and then underneath my jawline. What I'm doing is basically making the number 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then blending down my neck. And then also just a little bit on the sides of my nose. After that, I fill in my brows. Today I'm using the Lawless Soft Fill Brow Pencil in Blonde. I always brush up my brows first and then fill them in to give them some shape, because as you can see, my brows are extremely light and they don't look so good bare. I'm sitting here wondering why things are so blurry, and then I look closely and realize how dirty my mirror is. Now I'm setting with a little brow laminating gel and carve out underneath the brow. So my brows are done, and now with my new updated signature look, I do very, very minimal with the eyes. I take my bronzer, in this case I'm using the Benefit Hoola Caramel, and when I say my bronzer, it's not necessarily the bronzer I use on my face, because as you saw, I used more of a glowy bronzer and I don't want that on my eyes. Although I suppose you could if you wanted to. So I just take a bronzer, I should say, and run that through my crease. And because I have hooded eyes, I look straight into the mirror and I go a little bit higher than where my crease would be if I actually had one, not hooded eyes. And I just blend that back and forth, back and forth. And then I sort of extend it out towards my temples. And then once I have that down and blend it out to my liking, then I take my finger and go into a shimmer shade. And for that, I'm using the Everyday Faves from Ulta Beauty. I'm going into the top middle color. I just realized I didn't put my light back on. And I say back on because it turns out that it wasn't just that my mirror was dirty, that I was having some blurry vision in my eye. Once in a while, I get those floaters, or I guess they're called ocular migraines, where I get these squiggly lines and my eye can't focus. So I took a break for about 45 minutes and just shut my eyes and made myself some breakfast. So that's why I didn't have the light back on, and why the lighting may seem actually a little bit different than it did previously. And then I'm going to put on a little bit of a darker one right here over the top of that. So the light shade goes first, and then the deeper shade goes right on top of that. And as you can see, I'm sort of avoiding the outer corners of my eyes. And so now, instead of doing what I used to do, which is pack a lot of dark color on the outer corners of my eyes, I am going to still use a dark shade to give my eyes some lift, but really just focus it along the lower lash, not the lower lash line, along the lash line. I don't travel anywhere without my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette, and I'm taking the brown shade and I'm just tapping that right at the lash line and then slightly winging it out. And I'm just doing a patting motion. That's it. I'm really not bringing it back and forth into my outer corners like I've done in the past. I'm just sort of stamping it right at that outer corner. That is all. And I know it might look a little bit weird now and a little bit unfinished, but we're going to clean it up and you'll see how it sort of just comes together. More stamping just right on that outer corner. No windshield wiper motion, nothing. Just stamping. And then sometimes I sort of drag it up, just blend it up and out. Then I'm using a more flat brush and going into the ivory shade and placing that underneath the arch of my brow, and then using it to sort of buff out and blend the shadow I placed in my crease. And now I'm using a teeny tiny eyeliner brush. This one is from BK Beauty, and the brown shade from the palette, and just pressing that along my upper lash lines right at the root of the lash. And then once that's done, I just take a damp sponge and clean up the outer corners, angling towards my temples. And then I'm taking my bronzer again and applying that to my lower lash lines and smudging out my lower lash lines. Then I curl my lashes, and then using a long wearing eyeliner, I am tight lining. And then I'm also using the pencil to line just the very, very, very outer corners of my lower lashes. And the mascara I'm using is from Kiko. I went into a couple of Kiko stores when I was in Barcelona. I really like Kiko products. And we had a Kiko store here in Vegas at our most popular mall called Fashion Show on the Las Vegas Strip. And it only lasted here about a year. I think most Americans just don't know what it is, and they clearly don't know how good so many of their products are. I love, love, love the lip glosses. I have been able to purchase the lip glosses from Ulta and also Amazon. And because the prices are so affordable, I decided to buy a couple more products. Not just lip gloss, I bought this mascara obviously, and then I also purchased a blush. So every night I wore the same falsies, which were my martini lashes from BK Beauty. I love a pinky peach cheek. I find it's the most flattering on me. So every night I would reach for my Rhode Pocket Blush in Spicy Marg. And then depending on what lip color I was wearing, I would either reach for a more pink blush or a more peach blush. And the blush I picked up from Kiko is called Smart Color Blush 04. You can use any peachy pink or pink blush that is most flattering. This one happens to be matte. And then I'm just applying that over the Rhode Pocket Blush. And then for my highlight, I'm using the Say Glow Sculpt in Pink Glow. Now the lip combo is something that I will admit I did change up every single night. But since I'm doing my signature look, you know I have to wear some sort of pinky nude because that is what I wear most often. That is what I would call my signature look. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Liner in Muted Mauve. Topped with Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk Big Lip Plumpgasm Gloss. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed seeing step by step how I achieve my current signature makeup look. As I mentioned earlier in the video, this was my go-to look that I did every night on my vacation. It took me 30 minutes or less including applying my false lashes, and it photographed so well. As always, I will have every product I used listed and linked in the description box, as well as tagged through YouTube Shopping. Do not forget to check out Beauty Pie and use my code to save money on your first order. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at the high quality of their products for such a fair price. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. Just hit that subscribe button and you will become a part of the Risa Does Makeup family. I do upload new content at least twice per week. You can also find me over on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. My username is the same on every platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.